Hey guys, Sean here. Hope everyone is doing pretty well. I just thought I'd do something kind of different in this episode for quarantine. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time is remove every single component on a Game Boy Color motherboard. And why not today? So, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do today. Jeez, my hair is getting ridiculously long. Should I cut my hair myself? I don't know. I'm starting to consider that. Anyway, alright, here, let's get started. So, I've never done this before. There's a lot of different things that I have never removed, but I want to try removing every possible single component from a Game Boy Color motherboard. And I found this one that's completely broken. I have no idea what's wrong with it, but I'm not even going to bother trying to fix it. I have a ton of these, so I think I can sacrifice one. This one I know has at least enough issues to not be working. Like, it definitely needs a recap. Who knows what other chips aren't working. The very badly corroded cartridge reader and a few other things, but well, that's a pretty bad job there. Wow. Look what somebody did. Anyway. So I got this hot air thing, 858D, and these are pretty cheap online. Let's get started here. I guess this will be my kind of coronavirus episode, something I'm doing because just for fun, because I'm bored. So let's see. So this one already has, as I was pulling it out, I ripped the speaker off, so that's already one component taken care of. And I want to try to do this as carefully as possible and actually have every tiny little component. Maybe I can frame it or something, have them all neatly laid out. So, alright, let's get started here. Is this in the way? 1 second. So I'm turning this on to 300. It's kind of nice, you can hear it. It turns on when you lift it up and gets up to temperature. You can regulate how much the fan speed. Wow, it's a really strong smell. Yeah, it smells like burning. Oh yeah, this one's missing the DC-DC converter. But that's okay, we can find one from another board. Or maybe I have another board. 1 second, let's see. I got this board here. This is an 05. So I think that's the only thing that's missing. Yeah, this one's missing the battery terminal and one of the capacitors and the power switch. So I'll take the DC-DC from this one, but we'll get to that later. For now, we'll just focus on this one. Let's see, a few things to start with. I guess I'll just zoom in real close so you guys can see. Let's see, let's start with maybe the power LED. I don't know how hot my soldering iron is yet. Let's get some flux ready. Might even try taking this a step further and using some acetone on the board to get rid of the silk screen, and we can actually see all of the copper traces underneath. I know there's you can just easily look up this schematic online, but it might be kind of neat to see a full Game Boy Color without anything on it and all the traces. Alright, it's finally up to temperature now. So I like to just heat it up, kind of push it through a little bit, then take a pair of tweezers, put it underneath, apply some pressure, and there we go. There's our first thing we removed, the power LED. Okay, what else here? I guess we'll start with bigger things, and then we'll move on to like the tiny little capacitors and things later. Kind of funny, I've never actually removed any of these infrared LED things. Those are pretty easy to remove. What have you guys been up to during the quarantine? Been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. And my car was in an accident, so I ordered the parts to repair it. So I've been painting some of the body panels and things, and my bumper was actually not, or the bumper cover was not too bad, so I decided to just keep the same bumper and trying to fix it up, and it's turning out kind of okay. What a mess on this battery terminal somebody did. Looks like the pad was like lifted off or something. But let's get some alcohol here to keep things kind of clean if we can. You know, alcohol is getting kind of pricey right now, so you have to kind of ration it. Here's the last of my 99%. Wonder how long this is going to take me. I know if I just film the entire thing and upload it, that there might be some people who watch it, but I'm sure most people are just going to fast forward through it just to see the end result, which is fine. I mean, I don't know, but it's also kind of nice, I think, if I edit it a little bit, at least, to make it, I don't know, somewhat interesting. Okay. So I do kind of the same thing for the battery terminals with the tweezers. Alright, there we go. Careful, they're hot. Oops, this one just came out and landed in the flex. That's okay. So there we go, battery terminals are off. Capacitors are a little bit trickier to remove in one piece. So let's do the headphone jack and AC adapter. For those, I'm going to use this, which is a solder sucker. And it's pretty easy to use. I don't think I need too much flex here, but I'll just put a little bit. And what you do is you just heat up the little pad, put this on there, and oops, that wasn't a very good one. One more time. There we go. So it just sucks up the solder as you heat it up. Get it nice and hot and liquidy. So, what else am I working on? I'm still catching up on some orders. There's definitely always some orders to catch up on. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to take on very many orders after I catch up. I want to focus more on personal projects like the Game Boy games that I'm working on. If you guys want to follow along, I have a website and an Instagram called Esoteric Games. I'll put a link in the description hopefully I'll remember. If not, just remind me, or I'm sure you guys can find it. But yeah, I'm trying to make a game for Game Boy. My big one is called Susie's Diary, and that one's kind of inspired by Link's Awakening. But I got a little bit, I was getting a little bit overwhelmed with it because it's a pretty big project. So I decided to try making like a smaller project in the meantime, just something that I can actually get out there and that people can play right now. And I thought I could have it done in maybe a couple weeks, but there's been a lot of things going on. But it's getting there. It's definitely getting a lot, pretty close. There's the AC adapter. And oh yeah, so my smaller game is called Nutmegs Nut Quest. It's a story about a squirrel, kind of inspired by like Kirby's Dream Land type of game. Simple platformer where you're just you play a squirrel who is all out of acorns and you need to feed your babies. And it's a female squirrel, her name is Nutmeg. And yeah, there's some enemies. I think there's gonna be a fish, butterfly, a duck, and I'm still trying to decide on the big boss battle at the end. May have more than one kind of stage to it, but we'll see. I want to try to get it out as quickly as possible. And I can always add more to the game later on too, so come on. Alright, let's just use this. There we go. There's the headphone jack. Making some progress. What next? For some things like, I guess we can do these little fuses and things around here. Okay, so for fuses, I like to just, I'll give it some flux. To be honest, I'm actually not sure what this one is right here. Has a little coil to it. Yeah, I know a fair bit about electronics, but it's definitely something I'm still learning about. And much more of a, there's one fuse. I'm much more of like a, I don't know what to call it, like a creator, like crafter, a maker kind of person. Like I like making things with my hands, so like I much prefer the parts of Game Boy modding where you're like modifying the shell, you're cutting things away, you know, it takes a little bit of finesse like that. But I mean, I do know about some electronic stuff. It's just I'm not like Mako or, you know, a few other people. But I'm still learning. Always good to learn. That's one big challenge for making a Game Boy game, is a lot of people want it to be released on an actual cartridge, and I want to offer it on a cartridge too. But to actually make a Game Boy cartridge is quite the feat. And sure, you can just get a, you know, a cheap Chinese knockoff game like Shantae or Pokemon or something. So here's a little coil piece. So far, so good. But yeah, you can just get like a Chinese knockoff, and those work fine. But it's nice to have an actual, you know, like a real high quality one, high quality cartridge. So for these capacitors, I've never actually used this hot air for this before, but I'm going to try it and see. I'm going to put some flux in here. Plenty of space to remove these from the board now. And I'm going to use pliers just so I have a little bit more grip. Okay. Letting it get to temperature. (200 degrees), 250, and 300. Okay, we're there. It goes hotter than that, but I don't know what's a good temperature to use for this, so let's try 300 and see how it goes. So I'm just going to hold on to this. Nothing seems to be happening. It sure smells really strong. It smells like burning plastic. Aha, wow. Got it off in one nice piece. Okay. So let's take a look here. Yeah, it takes quite a while to melt that solder. So 300 degrees might be a little low. I don't have a temperature regulator on my soldering iron, so I never know what temperature I'm using. The pliers could also be, you know, kind of absorbing the heat as well. Oh man. So it lifted There we go. This one kind of lifted the pad and started pulling the entire trace. Can you see that right there? Just started lifting it off the board. But that's okay. We can push that back down somehow. Okay, something like that. Okay. Okay, one more. This is a time-consuming project. Perfect, I guess, if you got nothing else to do. Which I got lots of other things to do, but that's okay. So this one, maybe let's try the soldering iron for this one. I don't want to melt the cartridge reader right here. Okay. Okay, I got half of it. And that was actually maybe easier than the hot air. But anyway, we might use the hot air for the smaller components just because it's a little bit faster. It might be easier for that. What next? I guess we should do the cartridge reader now. So I'm gonna try, maybe, let's see. Has to get up to temperature again. Gets up to temperature extremely fast, wow. Okay. So I don't see the solder melting at all. But it actually worked, okay. That one didn't work too well. Guess it takes a little bit. There we go. Careful not to aim the hot air at my laptop right in front of me. Okay, this is working pretty well. It's kind of weird, it doesn't get shiny, like it doesn't look like it's melting. But then I use this and it sucks up like 3 of them at once, so. So hot air is pretty interesting. That time it didn't suck anything up. There we go. I'm using the smallest tip that the hot air station came with, which looked pretty big to me, but I think it's actually a pretty good size, even for tiny little components like this. This takes quite a while though. that burning plastic smell kind of went away. Or maybe I'm just getting used to the smell, which is probably not a good idea. Not a good thing. Alright, almost there. Okay. Okay, the board is extremely hot. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah, even like here, wow. It's not too bad here. Ouch. Okay. Whew. So I think I'm gonna stick this spudger, metal spudger thing under here. Ow. So hot still, wow. Alright, and I'm gonna try to work it. It's coming. Okay, let's try. Yeah, everything's burning hot right now. Let's try it from this side now. Turn up the fan, maybe. Ooh. Felt something move there. Okay. Getting there. Almost there. Let's try it like this now. Okay, I can see the solder melting when I do it with a higher fan speed. So that's good, that's something. There's a lot of pins to melt at once here. So. Okay. Getting there. Keep me see inside there. Actually, maybe by this point I can let me do it from the front here. Alright, hold on. Alright, let's think about this a second here. The little plastic tabs on the side are no longer holding anything, so those are out of the way. Even this thing's getting pretty hot. But I can see on this side they're almost below the surface. It's mostly on this side now I can see some still kind of connected. So let's try it from here, and I'll kind of give it a twisting motion. Almost there? Yeah, we did it. Whew. Very hot. There is the cartridge reader. My first time taking one off. Okay, let's set that aside. Okay. Looking pretty good. You can see everything I've done so far. What next? It'd be interesting taking off these bigger chips like the CPU and stuff. I guess we will do maybe the volume wheel. So I'm going to use some flux for this one. So the volume wheel has these two things on the back, or the front, or whatever you want to call it. This hot air thing is pretty interesting. It's like, I kind of like it, but it's also takes some getting used to, I guess. Let me raise the temperature a little bit. Maybe 325, 350? I'll do 350. Nothing. There we go. All right. So the volume wheel is pretty easy after you get those two pieces out. The board's still so hot. Those two pins go through the board, so, and they're still connected pretty well. There we go. So now the pins are out, you can see right there. And then the rest is just these pins in the front right here. And for that, I've only done this with soldering iron before. So I'm going to try it with this and see. Oh, it's melt. It's like, okay. 350 is pretty hot. Makes things melt very, very quick. And I think it's actually, hope I'm not damaging my my table here. No? Looks okay. I felt the silicone actually like start to bubble up or something there. Okay, what's next here? How about this link port? I guess this isn't taking quite as long as I thought it might. How long have I been recording? 30 minutes? 36 minutes. Oh yeah, you can see it melt like almost instantly. Or maybe that's just the flux. No, I can see some of it melting. Yeah, I see smoke. So for something like this, where all the pins are on one side, I'm just going to use this. I've never removed a link port before. There's no real good spot to... There we go. Alright, almost. Ouch. Okay. So something you'll never really hear me talk about is safety on this channel, because I think that's something you kind of just have to learn on your own. You know, if you're going to be soldering, it's your responsibility to make sure you're not breathing in toxic fumes, you know. But it's kind of like, yeah, I've done a lot of woodworking and stuff, and I've definitely cut myself really bad several times. And I think from a couple different perspectives, when you cut yourself, your skin is going to heal and you're going to be stronger there. But also from like a mental standpoint, you're going to learn to be a little bit more careful next time. And I don't know, I think all flat on this side now. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I don't think it's that important to constantly tell people be careful, because people are, you know, they don't want to hurt themselves. I mean, most people don't. So yeah, just use common sense, and that's all I have to say about that. Where's my solder? So usually for the power switch, this is how I've always done it. I just add a little bit of solder to each side, because there's not much solder there. With the hot air, it might actually be fine. And then I also like to get a razor blade, and here, let me show you guys how I do this. So you can see there's these little tabs I like to just kind of lift those tabs out. Like that. Can you see that? So now you can just heat this up and this will lift straight off without having to like lift those two little tabs on the side. This side has them too, but you only need to lift one and then this side will come off pretty easily. Yeah, this isn't really a tutorial, I'm just, you know, giving some tips along the way. And kind of just like stick your tweezers or whatever inside there. Heat up this side. And it's not lifting. Come on. I think only one of the tabs lifted well enough. This one's still getting stuck. Okay. One more try. There we are. Almost, anyway. There. So that side lifted. Now you can just heat up this side and that comes right off. And then this little inner part comes right out. And this is typically the part that you want to clean. But we're going to take the whole thing off now. So this is just held by these pins back here. And I don't think these are holding on to the actual little case. So yeah, you can just stick your spudger in the front. Heat up these pins back here. Okay. And now I'm going to twist it. If you kind of start like one by one, there we go, kind of. There. There's the little case. And this is kind of lifting here again, but we'll fix that. So now let's start removing some of these chips. So let's start with the crystal. Crystal is what makes the clock run at a certain speed. Sorry, it's just getting sticky everywhere. I want to clean up some of this flux that's everywhere. But yeah, the crystal makes the CPU run at a certain speed. You can change that. You can change the crystal, and that's how you do an overclock mod. Or I guess if an underclock if you want. All right, still some right there. Okay, making good progress. So now the crystal. It's a little tricky because it's like a surface mount kind of thing. So just be generous with your flux. If you want to make sure that you don't, like if you're only removing one tiny little piece of something, like you're typically not going to want to remove everything. But one trick is to use some Kapton tape. Like say for example I wanted to remove this crystal but nothing around it. I might just cut a little piece of Kapton tape and then use this to protect the other little components all around it. Which I kind of want to protect because I want to remove those individually and make sure they're all, you know, good. Okay. So yeah, so those shouldn't move around or anything. And maybe we'll try the heat gun for this. Again, never actually removed a crystal. We'll start with this side. Who knows? Kind of tricky. Can't really get my spudger thing underneath it. Okay, my soldering iron is doing something. There we go. Takes a bit of force, but there it is, halfway lifted up. And I don't know, it seems like this Kapton tape was kind of melting. Maybe that's a bad idea. And let's try this. And there we go. Only destroyed 3 of the 4 pads. So there's the crystal. Yeah, it's just 4 pads, and they're things with pads on them like this. These surface mount components are kind of difficult to remove sometimes because, you know, the solder goes like way underneath them. But there's the crystal. So next, maybe we'll remove this chip. Why not? We have to remove all of them. So we'll add a lot of flux. This seems like a good one for heat. Can you guys see? Yeah, you can see. Okay, so I'm going to try to stick one corner of my spudger underneath it. Might help to put it this way so it's nice and straight. And there we go. Lifted up half of it already. So now I can just slide this underneath here. And do the other side. And there we go. There's that chip removed. So now let's try I think this is the VRAM here, the video memory. Could be wrong. Should know my way completely around the motherboard by now, but I'm not actually sure. Pretty sure this is the video chip. And just like that. This heat thing is pretty good. Ta-da! A lot easier than using ChipQuick, that's for sure. Okay, so here's a little like a, I don't know, some kind of regulator or something. Flux definitely is required for this. There we go. There's that chip. Should we try the CPU now? Once we do the CPU, then it's all easy from there. Or should we do the cart reader, or the LCD, whatever port thing is here? That does not have any through pins, it's just a surface mount thing. So I guess we can give that a go. Being very generous with flux. Looks like there's some pads on the two sides. Probably goes underneath. So I'm going to try to put this underneath it. Okay, it feels like a pretty good idea to maybe put this from the front. There we go. Then again, maybe I'm just burning the plastic. Oh, okay, that came right off. Only a tiny bit warped, not too bad. A little hot, but not too much. Yeah, it doesn't look like we damaged it at all. Okay, so now I guess we'll do the CPU. It's kind of helpful if it's a little bit hot first. The flux really just flows nicely. Alright, so there's pins on all four sides. So maybe I'll try to go in at a corner here. Like this. I don't know. A little tricky. I feel my soldering mat lifting up a little bit, like bubbling. So that can't be good. You guys got any ideas here? Like, in order for these to lift up, these two sides have to lift up. So I think if I do like this side and this side... Ooh, I see something happening. Aha! Look, underneath. Ta-da! Wow! Almost there. Okay. Aha! We did it! There's the CPU. Very hot, but I'll set it there. Clean up some of this flux. But yeah, we're getting there. Just a bunch of small little things now. Is anybody still watching? Okay, so let's oh, this is the little potentiometer. So let's remove that. Definitely surface mount. I think everything is surface mount from here on out. It has 3 pins on that one. The next biggest thing are like some of these chips here. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of go over everything with flux. And I'm going to clean this extremely thoroughly after, so I'm not too worried about making a mess or anything. And you just put it on top because it's just going to like melt into the components, you know, when you heat it up. And this could definitely be done with a soldering iron, I'm sure. CPU might be a little tricky, but then again, if you're removing an entire CPU, I don't know. Maybe someday in the future we're gonna have to replace those or something. If you want to like keep it original and running well. But for now, it's just capacitors and power switches and that kind of thing. Alright, that's pretty good. A nice flat Game Boy motherboard. Okay. Maybe I'll just start down here and go one by one. C31 Capacitor. Maybe I'll get like bigger tweezers. These aren't like tweezers, they have like a flat end and they can grip a little better. There we go. C1 and C31. Here's C22. Maybe I'll put these over. No, I'll keep them over here. Okay. Next is C30. Guess I'm doing all these tiny little capacitors first. How about that? Come on, get off of there. Capacitors. What are E's? EM. I'm not sure what EMs are. Capacitor 36. Sure. Capacitor 40. Some of these are pretty tiny. Here's 44. For these really tiny ones, I guess I'll just use these tweezers. C16. What's this? C14 and C13. C46. I'm not sure what that one is. These, I think, are capacitors. Yeah, it's getting easier. Ouch, ouch, ouch. It's amazing, even those tiny little capacitors can be so hot. Okay, C34. C23. Those are resistors. Here we go, C42. It's getting hot in my room. Okay, here's a C47. Where'd it go? Come on. It's like kind of sticky with the flux. There we go. Alright, let's, I'm not sure what any of these are, but I'm just going to start removing them. EN, I need to look that up. R is a resistor. I think this one might be a diode. I'm not sure. Okay. Everything, oh, one more here. And now, everything on the lower part is done. I think, yep, that's done. Oh, no, missed these two. Alright. Sorry, I might block it with my head, but give me 1 second. Alright, looking good. Moving on up. Sometimes I can't tell where they are. They get like stuck. Don't know what these bigger chips are here. I think they say a U on it. Seems like a little double chip thing. Resistor, it says. Another double resistor right here. Interesting. Ooh, hot. think this is much faster with the hot air. What the heck is that? Black thing, that's not any kind of component. Where'd it go? Did I drop it? Oh, check it. Oof. So many. One more here. Gotta be careful not to aim the hot air at all of these because they're gonna go flying everywhere. Come on, get off of there. Ah, okay. What else here? Oh, I think these are capacitors. I might have forgotten. Ah, shoot. Where'd that go? Oh, over here. Come on in. Off of there. Right here. Oh yeah, we can't forget about the DC-DC board. Oh, wow. My eyes are starting to get a little fuzzy. That's an interesting chip. It's like 3 chips in one, it looks like. I think that's a diode there. Interesting tidbit about a diode. I think it was Steve Mold on YouTube. He made a video about diodes, and I guess all diodes are light emitting to some degree. Light emitting diodes, LEDs, are designed to produce more light. And then I guess the opposite is a solar panel. So a solar panel is essentially a light emitting diode, but I guess sort of in reverse. I don't know, it was kind of interesting to me. Anybody counting how many I've taken off so far? Oops. I guess if nothing else, this is good practice. I'll lower the fan a little bit. You're almost there, you guys. How long have we been recording now? Is it still recording? Yeah, it's still recording, okay. 1 hour and 18 minutes. Is that it? Are we done? Let's double check. Oop, I see one more. Hello? Okay. Okay. Do you guys see any more I missed? I think that's it. What's that? Oh, it's just a little piece left over. Yep, so there is a flat Game Boy Color motherboard. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. Shoot, I guess I'll be right back. I'm gonna try and find something to put all this stuff in. I don't want to lose any of it. Okay, I'm back. I made a cup of tea and I'm having some Oreos. Let that cool down. Okay, so let's try to clean these up because they're all full of flux. So I'm going to put them all in here. They stick to my fingers. And I'll coat them in alcohol. That's all of them. looks like it. Alright, time to use up some of my precious alcohol. And I'll put a couple of these bigger ones in here too. Okay, so now, is my soldering iron on? Yeah. Yeah, I want to take off this DC-DC converter over here. Yeah, I still like using the soldering iron. The heat is definitely nice for some things. What's the best way here? Maybe like this. Hello? Come on. Maybe it just doesn't like flexing that much. Oh shoot. I just realized this is covered in components too. Can't have that. All components must go. Come on, man, get off of there. Okay, I think that side's good. Okay, maybe the heat would be better for this. There we go, finally. Ay. Almost there. Okay, maybe I can do it this way now. There we go. Oh, this side now. Finally, okay. Okay, I guess I will remove all these now. How do you guys eat your Oreos? Alright, well, these are looking nice and clean. There's quite a few on this little board, wow. This one's pretty crooked. Well, I'll come back to that in a minute. In the meantime, I want to see if, maybe let's first clean this. So I'm going to put this, it's not very flat. So first I'm just going to pour a bunch of alcohol on here. And I'm just going to scrub it everywhere to clean off all the flux and dirtiness. Still lots of little raised up pins and things, so the Q-tip kind of gets stuck here and there, but oh shoot. Well, I guess that's okay. It's gonna all come off soon anyway. So what else is new? Did you guys hear about Kim Jong-un? I always found North Korea kind of interesting. I mean, it's horrible what those people have to live through, and I hope something good comes out of this. Like, I hope they're able to get some kind of better government system there. No more killing people in camps and stuff. Okay, so next, it's pretty clean. I'm just gonna let that dry a second. And I'm gonna replace this alcohol with some acetone, so I'll be right back. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I've seen like pictures and stuff of North Korea, and it's just always so fascinating to look through them and see what the country actually looks like and how people actually live there. And of course it's terrible, you know, like I'm not... Like I'm not trying to be exploitative of those people or anything. But yeah, like there's definitely a part of me that would actually be interested in going there and taking pictures, and you know, I'm sure that'll never happen, but a small part of me is interested in that. Same thing with like Chernobyl or... Anyway, so here's some acetone. Then I'm going to see what happens. Good luck, Game Boy motherboard. So far nothing's happening. This lid is like crumbling. Guess it's been sitting in a hot garage for too long or something. Alright, well. So far not much is happening. Maybe I need to roughen up the surface a little bit so it can like penetrate. I don't know. Well, let's set that aside for now. Give it a good soak for a bit. And I guess I'll get back to this. And I'll put the components directly into here. Let's see, I guess here's my flux. My flux is getting kind of dirty. And I guess I'll just start with this side, and then I'll move on to that side. Let's see, where's a good place for this? Shoot. Uh-huh. Found it. It went flying. Alright, so let's turn our attention back over to this. And it certainly looks like nothing. Let's try maybe scraping a little bit. So it seems like the acetone is not really working. That's okay. It kind of looks nice just like this too. So it's pretty strong too. But yeah. So, oh well. Kind of a waste of acetone, I guess, but alright, so there we go. Wanted to clean up just a couple places here. Like these little IR port. Maybe a little bit here. Oh, it feels freezing cold. The soldering iron doesn't get very hot. It's fine for most fine little soldering I do, but someday I'll get an actual soldering station. If I do get a soldering station though, it has to, the actual iron has to have the finest tip like this. Looks like there was some corrosion under this chip. Same over here with this chip too. Alright, that's more than adequate. I might want to like glue this little piece down or something. But besides that, there is the motherboard. I think I'm gonna call that good. So I'll set that aside. Should probably get a clean paper towel here. But I'm just gonna take out some of these bigger components. And shoot. Oh, okay. I want to find something stuck to it. And I guess that's good for now. Here's the capacitors. Here's a lot of the bigger components. Kind of fun to see them all like this. And there's everything. Oh yeah, the speaker. Remove the wires. Sure. Separate as much as I can. For a second I thought about removing all these pins, but nah, it's fine like that. And I think we're done. I think that's it. So maybe I will mount all of these on on something. That was actually my first job, working in a picture frame store. A store called Aaron Brothers. And I was the framer. I was the guy that worked in the back putting together all the picture frames. So might be fun to put together like a picture frame for all this. But anyway, I guess that's it for this, and maybe I'll post a picture next time or something of it all mounted. But yeah, this video's been long enough. I just wanted to see if I could remove all the components, and I guess I could. So, hope you guys are doing well out there. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.